Welcome to The Explainer. We are right in the middle of a massive revolution in artificial intelligence. But this isn't just about smarter chatbots. We are on the very edge of what's being called the age of agents. And that's AI that doesn't just wait for our questions, but actually takes action on its own. So today, we're going to break down what that really means for our jobs, our world, and, well, our future. This quote from Ilya Sutskever, one of the co-founders of OpenAI, is a pretty powerful warning, don't you think? What he's getting at is crystal clear. You really can't afford to just ignore what's happening. AI isn't just some new gadget for the tech crowd. No, it's a fundamental shift, and it's going to touch every single one of us. Understanding what's coming down the pike is really the first step in getting ready for it.
For the last couple of years, we've all gotten pretty used to AI as basically a chatbot, right? We give it a prompt, it spits out an answer. But that's just the starting line. We're about to see a huge leap from these kinds of reactive tools to proactive, autonomous agents. We're talking about AI that doesn't just answer questions, but takes on complex goals all by itself.
Okay, so where is all of this really heading? To understand the true impact of these AI agents, we first need to get a handle on the roadmap for this technology, and this speed, the almost unbelievable speed at which it's moving. So what's the engine driving this incredible acceleration? It's a concept called recursive self-improvement. To put it simply, this is the moment when AI starts writing its own better code, and that new code makes it even better at writing code. It's this powerful feedback loop. In fact, top AI labs are already saying that AI is generating 10–20% of the new code for their own research. This thing is set to just skyrocket progress. Now, what you're seeing here is a timeline that former Google CEO Eric Schmidt calls the San Francisco consensus. Basically, this is the working forecast from inside the big AI labs. And honestly, it's staggering. Within a year, they expect AI to be handling most programming tasks. In just 3 to 5 years, they're predicting AGI, that's artificial general intelligence, an AI as smart as the absolute most brilliant human expert you can think of. And then, just a year or two after that, ASI, Artificial Superintelligence, an intelligence greater than all of humanity combined. This isn't a sci-fi movie plot. This is the industry's actual roadmap. Okay, so you've got this incredible intelligence, but how does it actually get things done in the real world? Well, the answer is through AI agents. We're in the middle of a huge transition here. The AI we have today is mostly a language model. It's reactive, it needs us to tell it what to do every single step of the way. But tomorrow's agentic systems, they're a whole different animal. You give an agent a high-level goal and it just runs with it, operating on its own, breaking that goal down into smaller tasks and getting them done. So what's the key piece of tech that makes this all possible? It's something called the infinite context window. The easiest way to think about it is like giving an AI a perfect long-term memory. You know how with a normal chatbot, if you have a long conversation, it starts to forget what you talked about at the beginning? Well, with an infinite context window, an AI agent can remember every single detail of a complex project, from start to finish. This is what lets it do the kind of step-by-step reasoning and planning it needs for these huge multi-stage tasks. Let's make this really concrete. Eric Schmidt gave a great practical example. Imagine you give an AI agent just one goal: buy and build a new house. As you can see here, the agent would handle, well, everything. It researches zoning laws, it executes the land purchase, it hires a contractor, manages all the payments, and it even works with a human architect on the actual design. It's like a whole team of specialists, all automated in a single system. And this is where you see the real scale of this change. Schmidt's quote right here is the punchline. Because that house buying example, it isn't just about real estate. It's a template for automating nearly any complex workflow you can possibly imagine, from running a business department to managing government services. So this kind of radical automation, it inevitably brings up that big, familiar question about technology and jobs, right? Is this time different? The fear, of course, is that while all the past waves of automation replaced manual labor, our muscles, this new wave is coming for cognitive labor. It's coming for our minds. It's targeting the very skills that have defined knowledge work for the last 100 years. Now, history does offer some comfort here. For the last 300 years, from the invention of the loom all the way to the modern assembly line, automation has always, eventually, created more jobs than it destroyed. Yeah, the nature of work changed dramatically, but overall employment actually grew as brand new industries and roles popped up. But we have to ask that critical question: is this time really different?
Because AI is the first technology in human history that is designed to automate the act of thinking itself. And if that's true, then the old rules might not apply anymore.
So, in a world that's filled with super intelligent agents that can do almost any cognitive task, what's left for us? What's our role in all of this?
Look, the future isn't some race against the machine. Let's be real, you can't outprocess a supercomputer. The future is about becoming a partner. Our value shifts from doing the tasks to setting the destination and steering the ship. So as AI takes over the how, our big advantage will be in the uniquely human skills. We get to define the why, setting the strategic goals for these agents. We provide the creative spark, we ask the right questions, we make sure there's ethical oversight, and we act as that final human sign-off on the really critical decisions. And, maybe most importantly, we handle the people stuff, leading, inspiring, and managing other humans. These are the skills that are going to define the future of work. And that brings us right back to where we started. This isn't just another tech trend. Like Ilya Sutskever says, this is one of the greatest challenges humanity has ever faced, but it could also bring the greatest reward. The decisions we're making right now about how we develop and use these systems will define our future. The question is no longer if this is happening. The only question now is, how are we going to choose to navigate it?